The photo went viral while I was sitting in a McDonald's bathroom, crying into discount toilet paper. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, notification after notification. At first, I thought it was sympathy, people reaching out after hearing about the eviction. Then I opened Instagram. There I was, photographed through the window of my 15-year-old Honda Civic, the back seat packed with trash bags full of clothes, my daughter Emma's stuffed animals visible on top. The caption, posted by my ex-husband's new wife, "When you choose bad decisions over your child. Hashtag karma, single mom fail. Hashtag she chose this." 3,000 likes in 20 minutes. The comments were worse. "This is what happens when you get lazy and entitled. Feel bad for that kid. Mom's a mess. Michael dodged a bullet. New wife is gorgeous and successful." I sat on that toilet, mascara running down my face, reading comment after comment from people I'd once called friends, former neighbors, women from Emma's PTA, people who'd smiled at me at birthday parties, and now were gleefully watching me fall apart in real time. My hands shook as I scrolled. There was Michael's mother, who I'd cooked Thanksgiving dinner for every year, commenting, "Some people just can't handle responsibility, praying for Emma." Michael himself had shared it, added his own caption, "When you work hard and build a life and someone else just doesn't, teaching my daughter what not to become." I was 41 years old, evicted from my apartment, living in my car with my 7-year-old daughter sleeping in the back seat under a frozen blanket, and the entire internet was laughing at me. I didn't know then that this moment, this absolute rock bottom, this public humiliation would become the foundation of everything I was about to build. I didn't know that in exactly 18 months, every single person laughing at me would be choking on their words. Have you ever been so broken that the only direction left was up? Let me take you back 12 years to when I thought I'd figured out the formula for happiness. I met Michael Torres at a corporate networking event in downtown Phoenix. I was 29, working as a mid-level marketing coordinator at a tech startup, making $52,000 a year and loving every minute of it. Michael was 34, a commercial real estate broker who wore expensive suits and drove a BMW. He pursued me relentlessly. Flowers at my office, dinner at restaurants I couldn't afford, weekend trips to Sedona and San Diego. He made me feel special, chosen, like I was the prize he'd been searching for. "You're different from other women," he'd say. "You're real, authentic. You don't care about money or status." I should have paid attention to that last part. We married after 10 months. I was pregnant with Emma 3 months later, and that's when everything changed. "You don't need to work anymore," Michael said when I was 5 months along. "I make enough for both of us. Focus on being a mom, on making our home beautiful, on taking care of our family." It sounded romantic, traditional, like he wanted to take care of me. I didn't realize it was a trap. The red flags started small. Red flag 1. Michael wanted control of all our finances. "I'm better with money," he'd explain. "You focus on the baby, I'll handle the business side of our marriage." Every credit card was in his name. The house was in his name, purchased before we married, so I had no equity. Our bank accounts required both signatures, but he monitored every purchase. "Did you really need to spend $47 at Target?" he'd ask, reviewing the statements. "We need to be more careful with money." This from a man who spent $200 on golf every weekend. Red flag 2. He isolated me from my career. When Emma was 6 months old and I mentioned going back to work, Michael got upset. "You'd rather put our daughter in daycare with strangers than raise her yourself? What kind of mother does that?" The guilt was crushing. So I stayed home, became a full-time mom, watched my LinkedIn connections fade, watched my resume gap grow, watched my professional identity disappear. Red flag 3. He weaponized Emma. Every argument ended the same way. If you really loved our daughter, you'd fill in the blank. Stop asking for money. Stop complaining about being lonely. Stop wanting anything for myself. I became smaller and smaller, shrinking into the role Michael had designed for me. Decorative wife, unpaid domestic worker, mother to his child. By year 5, I barely recognized myself. I'd gone from a confident professional to a woman who asked permission to buy groceries, from someone with ambitions to someone whose biggest accomplishment was keeping the house clean enough to pass Michael's inspection. My friends from my old job stopped calling. I'd canceled on them too many times. Michael always had something he needed me to do, some event I had to attend as his wife, some reason why I couldn't have my own life. My mother noticed. "You seem diminished," she'd said during one visit. "Where's the daughter I raised, the one who wanted to change the world?" "I'm happy," I lied. "I have everything I ever wanted." She didn't believe me. I didn't believe me either. Then Michael met Vanessa. She was 28, a real estate agent at his firm, blonde, ambitious, child-free, and everything I wasn't anymore. She didn't have stretch marks or mom brain or an outdated resume. She had a career and a BMW and designer clothes. I found out about the affair when Emma was 6, saw the texts on Michael's phone while he was in the shower. Hundreds of messages, photos, plans to leave me. When I confronted him, he didn't even try to deny it. "You've let yourself go, Claire," he said, still dripping wet, not even bothered that I was crying. "You're not the woman I married. You're tired all the time. You've gained weight. You have no ambition. What did you expect?" "I gave up my career to raise our daughter," I screamed. "I didn't force you to do that. You chose it. And now you're blaming me because you're not happy with your choices?" He shook his head. "Vanessa has her life together. She's driven, successful. She challenges me. You just drain me." Have you ever realized that the person you sacrificed everything for saw it as weakness? The divorce was designed to destroy me. Michael had been planning it for months, maybe years. He'd restructured his finances to hide assets, moved money into accounts I didn't know about, built a narrative with his lawyer about how I was an unfit mother because I had no income and no job prospects. "Your Honor," his attorney argued in court, "Miss Torres chose to leave the workforce. She has no recent work history, no income, no financial stability. She's completely dependent on my client, which raises serious questions about her ability to provide for the child." My lawyer, a overworked public defender because I couldn't afford anyone better, tried to argue that I'd sacrificed my career to raise Emma at Michael's request. But there was no documentation, no emails, just my word against his. And Michael was very, very good at making himself look like the victim. "I supported my wife financially for over a decade," he testified, looking directly at the judge. "I never asked her to stop working, but I supported her choice. Now she's weaponizing that choice to claim she's entitled to half of what I built. I built my business while she stayed home by choice. That's not my fault." The judge, a man in his 60s who probably had a wife at home who'd chosen not to work, nodded sympathetically. "I got minimal child support, $800 a month, temporary spousal support of $1,200 a month for 2 years, joint custody, but Emma's primary residence would be with Michael because he had stability and resources. I got to see my daughter every other weekend and 1 evening a week. Michael got everything else: the house, the cars, the savings, and primary custody of our child. I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in a rough part of Phoenix, used my spousal support and child support to pay rent, barely, got a job at Target making $14 an hour because it was the only place that would hire someone with a 12-year employment gap. Emma cried every time I dropped her off at Michael's house, the house that used to be ours, where Vanessa now lived, in my space, sleeping in my bed, playing stepmom to my daughter. "Vanessa makes better pancakes than you," Emma said once, and I watched Michael smirk behind her. I was barely surviving, working 40 hours a week at Target, exhausted and humiliated, stocking shelves alongside teenagers, while my ex-husband posted photos on Instagram of his perfect new life. Then I got sick. Pneumonia. Bad enough that I couldn't work for 3 weeks. No income, rent due, no savings because every penny went to keeping a roof over my head and food in my daughter's mouth. I got evicted. The notice came on a Tuesday. I had 7 days to get out. I had nowhere to go. No family in Arizona, no friends left. I'd lost them all during the marriage and divorce. No money for a deposit on a new place. So I packed everything I owned into my car, picked up Emma from school, it was my week, and tried to figure out what to do. That's when Vanessa took the photo, saw me living in my car in the Target parking lot, and posted it for the world to see. The humiliation was complete. I was parked outside a library using their Wi-Fi to search for homeless shelters when the email came. Subject line: Estate Settlement, Margaret Ann Whitmore. I almost deleted it as spam. Then I saw my mother's maiden name. Dear Miss Claire Torres, nee Whitmore. This is to inform you that you have been named as a beneficiary in the estate of Margaret Ann Whitmore, who passed away 6 months ago. Your late aunt left specific instructions that you were to be contacted only after her estate had been fully settled. The assets include commercial property in downtown Phoenix, estimated value $3.2 million. Investment portfolio, estimated value $1.8 million. Her collection of original art and antiques, estimated value $600,000. A sealed letter addressed to you personally. Please contact our office to schedule an appointment. I read it 7 times. Aunt Margaret, my mother's older sister, the one who'd never married, who'd built a successful commercial real estate empire, who'd tried to warn me about Michael at our wedding. That man wants a trophy, not a partner, she'd said. Don't make yourself small for him, Claire. You're worth more than that. I hadn't listened, hadn't even kept in touch with her after the wedding. Michael said she was toxic and judgmental. Now she was dead, and she'd left me everything. The lawyer's office was downtown, in one of those glass towers I used to walk past and feel inferior to. I showed up in my Target uniform because I didn't have anything else clean. The attorney, David Chen, didn't judge, just handed me documents and a letter. Your aunt was very specific about the terms, he explained. Everything is held in an irrevocable trust that your ex-husband cannot touch. She set this up 5 years ago when she learned about your divorce proceedings. She knew? I whispered. She kept track. She was concerned. The letter explains more. I opened it with shaking hands. Claire, if you're reading this, you've hit bottom. I'm sorry I wasn't there to catch you. I tried to warn you about Michael, but you were in love. I understood. I was young once too. I've watched from a distance as he systematically destroyed the brilliant woman you used to be. Watched him isolate you, control you, diminish you. Watched the divorce drain you of everything but your spirit. So I did what I could. I protected resources for you. Resources he can never touch. The commercial property is the building at 447 North Central Avenue, prime real estate in downtown Phoenix, currently leased to 3 tech companies. It generates $45,000 in monthly rental income. The investments are diverse and stable. They'll provide annual dividends of approximately $90,000. The art collection is yours to keep or sell. Several pieces are worth 6 figures individually. But more importantly, I've left you something else. In the storage unit, key enclosed, you'll find documents, financial records from Michael's company, evidence of tax fraud, hidden assets, falsified statements to the divorce court. Michael isn't the successful, self-made man he claims to be. He's a fraud, and I have proof. Use these resources wisely, Claire. Rebuild yourself. Become who you were meant to be. And when you're ready, destroy him. You're a Whitmore woman. We don't stay down. With love, Aunt Margaret. I sat in that office and cried, not from sadness, from relief, from rage, from hope. I had resources. I had ammunition. I had a chance, and I was going to use all of it. The first thing I did was get Emma and me into stable housing. Aunt Margaret's estate included a small condo she'd owned near Scottsdale. David Chen transferred it to me within a week. 2 bedrooms, safe neighborhood, a real home. Emma cried when she saw her own bedroom. We don't have to live in the car anymore? Never again, baby, I promised. Never again. The second thing I did was quit Target and hire help. I used some of the trust funds to hire a financial advisor, an accountant, and a new divorce attorney, the kind Michael couldn't intimidate. The original divorce settlement can be reopened if we can prove fraud or hidden assets, my new attorney Patricia Kim explained. She was exactly the kind of woman I'd once been, sharp, ambitious, unafraid. And based on what your aunt collected, we can prove both. The third thing I did was invest in myself. I was 41 years old with a 12-year gap in my resume, but I had money now, resources, time. I enrolled in online courses, digital marketing, social media strategy, real estate investment, everything I'd been good at before Michael convinced me I wasn't good at anything. I hired a therapist. Dr. Rashida Jones specialized in helping women recover from financial abuse and narcissistic relationships. What Michael did to you has a name, she said in our first session. Economic abuse. He systematically removed your ability to be financially independent, then blamed you for being dependent. It's a classic control tactic. Understanding this didn't erase the pain, but it helped me stop blaming myself. 6 months into rebuilding, I did something radical. I started a business. The commercial building Aunt Margaret left me had 3 tenants, tech startups struggling with marketing and branding. I approached each one with a proposal. I'd provide consulting services in exchange for equity. I used to do this for a living, I told them, showing portfolios from my pre-marriage career. I'm good at it. Let me prove it. 2 of them said yes. Within 3 months, I'd helped both companies rebrand, triple their social media engagements, and land major clients. Within 6 months, they'd both been acquired by larger firms. My equity stakes? Suddenly worth $400,000 combined. I used that money to start my own digital marketing agency, Whitmore Strategies. A year after sleeping in my car, I was running a business, had 3 full-time employees, had contracts with 12 clients, was making 6 figures. The rental income from Aunt Margaret's building provided stability. The investment dividends gave me freedom. My business gave me purpose. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was thriving. Emma noticed the change. "You smile now, Mommy," she said one night at dinner. "You didn't smile before." "I'm happy, sweetheart. Really happy. Is it because we don't live in the car?" "It's because I remember who I am, and I'm teaching you to never forget who you are, no matter what anyone says." Have you ever discovered that the person you thought you'd lost was just waiting for you to find her again? By month 18, Whitmore Strategies had 20 employees and 35 clients. We specialized in helping women-owned businesses grow. I hired other women rebuilding after divorce, after job loss, after life had knocked them down. We understood our clients because we'd been them. The press noticed. Phoenix Business Journal did a feature, From Rock Bottom to CEO, how Claire Whitmore built an empire from nothing. The article included the full story, the divorce, the car, the viral photo, and the incredible comeback. It went viral, again, but this time the comments were different. "This is incredible. She's an inspiration." I remember that original photo. "This is the best comeback story ever." Her ex must be seething. They were right. He was. Michael started calling, texting, showing up at my office. Claire, can we talk? I made mistakes. I see that now. I had my assistant turn him away. Every time. Then he tried a different approach. Emma misses living with you full time. Maybe we should revisit the custody arrangement. That got my attention. We met at a coffee shop. Michael looked older, stressed. The smugness was gone, replaced with something that looked like desperation. Vanessa left me, he admitted, took half my assets in the divorce. Business hasn't been great. I'm struggling. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. Not sorry at all. I was thinking maybe we could work together. Your business is doing well. I have real estate connections. We could partner for Emma's sake. I almost laughed. You want to partner with the woman you called lazy and entitled? The woman you publicly humiliated? The woman you tried to destroy? I was angry, going through stuff. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. I stood up. You meant every word. And now that I'm successful without you, you want back in. The answer is no, Michael. I don't need you. I never did. I just needed to remember I didn't need you. I walked out, left him sitting there. It felt incredible. That's when he got mean. Michael's first move was legal. He filed for a custody modification, claiming I was too busy with work to properly care for Emma. Ms. Torres is now working 60-hour weeks, his lawyer argued. She's prioritizing her business over her child. We believe Emma would be better served in her father's primary custody. It was projection. Michael had always worked 60-hour weeks, but now that I was successful, suddenly working was neglect. Patricia fought back hard. We documented everything. Every school event I attended, every dinner I made, every bedtime story I read, showed that Emma was thriving with me. Better grades, happier, more confident. The judge denied Michael's motion, but it cost me $15,000 in legal fees and 3 months of stress. His second move was public. He started a whisper campaign. Suddenly, rumors circulated. I'd only succeeded because of my aunt's money. I wasn't actually talented. My business was failing. I was sleeping with clients to get contracts. I traced most of it back to Michael's mother, who was Facebook friends with half of Phoenix's professional community. Some clients got nervous, asked questions. 2 dropped their contracts. It hurt, but it didn't break me. His third move was personal. He started poisoning Emma against me. Mommy loves her work more than she loves you. That's why she's always busy. Mommy used to be fun before she got so obsessed with being important. Emma started acting out, refusing to do homework, crying at drop-offs, saying she wanted to live with Daddy full-time because he has more time for me. That almost broke me. I called Dr. Jones, sobbing. He's turning my daughter against me, using her to hurt me. I don't know what to do. Document everything, she said, and trust that Emma is smart enough to see the truth eventually. Keep being present. Keep being consistent. Keep being the mother you are. Then, Michael made his biggest mistake. He tried to sabotage my business directly. He contacted my largest client, a women's health startup, and told them I'd stolen trade secrets from his company, threatened to sue them if they continued working with me. It was completely false, but it scared the client enough that they put our contract on hold while they investigated. That's when I decided, enough. It was time to stop playing defense, time to use Aunt Margaret's gift, time to destroy him. Patricia and I met in her office on a Saturday morning. I brought 3 boxes of documents, everything Aunt Margaret had collected, plus everything I've gathered over the past 18 months. We have enough to reopen the divorce settlement and prove fraud, Patricia said, reviewing the files. Hidden assets, falsified financial statements to the court, tax evasion. Claire, this is criminal. Will it work? I asked. It'll do more than work. It'll expose him completely. We filed on a Monday morning, a motion to set aside the original divorce decree based on newly discovered evidence of fraud. The evidence was devastating. Bank accounts Michael had sworn didn't exist, properties titled in shell companies he controlled, income he'd hidden from the court, over $200,000 a year, falsified tax returns showing lower income to reduce child support, emails instructing his accountant to make the numbers look right for court. We also filed a separate complaint with the IRS and the Arizona Department of Revenue. And then, because I'd learned from watching Michael operate, I made sure the press found out. The Arizona Republic ran the story 2 days later. Local real estate broker accused of divorce fraud, tax evasion. It included everything: the hidden assets, the manipulation, the way he'd impoverished his ex-wife while hiding millions. The comment section was brutal, for him. This guy is scum, tried to make his ex-wife look like a deadbeat when he was the fraud. I remember that viral photo of her living in her car. He did that to her on purpose while sitting on millions? Evil. Hope he loses everything. Michael's professional reputation imploded overnight. Clients dropped him, his brokerage put him on leave. 3 women came forward claiming he'd done similar things to them, lied about assets, manipulated divorces, played victim while destroying lives. The court hearing was scheduled for 6 weeks later. Michael's lawyer tried to settle, offered me $500,000 to drop everything. Not a chance, I told Patricia. We're going to trial. The courtroom was packed, pressed in the back, Michael's mother in her usual spot, looking less smug than usual. Emma was with my friend, watching a movie. I didn't want her to see this. The judge was new, a woman in her 50s named Judge Sarah Rodriguez. She read through the evidence with a face that got stonier by the minute. Mr. Torres, she said finally, the evidence presented here shows a pattern of fraud, manipulation, and abuse. You systematically hid assets from this court. You provided false financial statements under penalty of perjury. You impoverished your ex-wife while living a life of luxury. Your Honor, I can explain. You'll have plenty of time to explain to the IRS and the criminal court, Judge Rodriguez interrupted. As for this divorce settlement, I'm setting aside the original decree in its entirety. We'll be starting from scratch. And this time, Mr. Torres, you'll be providing full, honest, and complete financial disclosure. Do you understand? Michael's face was gray. Yes, Your Honor. The new settlement took 3 months to finalize. This time, I had leverage. This time, Michael couldn't hide behind lies. Final terms. I received $2.4 million in previously hidden assets. Child support increased to $3,500 per month. Spousal support, which I didn't even need anymore, set to $5,000 per month for 5 years. Primary custody of Emma transferred to me, with Michael getting every other weekend visitation. Michael required to attend parenting classes and therapy. Michael responsible for Emma's college education, medical expenses, and extracurriculars. But more importantly, public vindication. Judge Rodriguez's written decision included this line: Mr. Torres engaged in a calculated campaign to defraud both the court and his ex-wife. His actions were not merely unethical, they were cruel. This court finds that Miss Whitmore was the victim of systematic financial abuse, and this settlement is an attempt to remedy some of that harm. The day the settlement finalized, I took Emma out for ice cream. "Is Daddy in trouble?" she asked. "Daddy made some bad choices," I said carefully. "He lied about money, but he'll get to fix it." "Are you still mad at him?" I thought about it. "No, sweetheart, I'm not mad. I'm just free." It's been 3 years since I lived in my car. Whitmore Strategies now has 45 employees and 72 clients. Annual revenue, $8.2 million. We've been named one of Phoenix's fastest growing businesses 2 years running. I bought a house, 4 bedrooms in a good school district. Emma has her own room, a backyard, a dog named Justice, because I'm predictable like that. I started a nonprofit, Second Chance Marketing. We provide free business consulting to women rebuilding after divorce, job loss, or financial abuse. Help them start businesses, build careers, find their footing again. Last year, we helped 43 women launch successful businesses. Michael, he's still around, still sees Emma every other weekend. We're civil for her sake. He lost most of his clients, works for a smaller firm now, drives a regular car instead of a BMW. His mother tried to apologize once. I didn't accept it, but I didn't reject it either. Just said, I appreciate you saying that, and moved on. Vanessa is apparently on her 3rd marriage. I saw her at a coffee shop once. She didn't make eye contact. The people who laughed at me, some apologized, most just quietly unfollowed and pretended they'd never mocked me. I don't need their apologies. Their silence is enough. Emma is 10 now. Smart, confident, fierce. She knows the story, age-appropriate version of what happened. Knows that mommy had a hard time, but came back stronger. You're the toughest person I know, she told me last week. You're tougher, I said. You survived it too. We survived it together. Have you ever hit rock bottom and discovered that's where your wings were hidden? Last month, I was keynoting at a women's business conference, telling my story to a room of 500 women rebuilding their lives. I showed the viral photo, the one Vanessa posted, me in my car, broken, humiliated, destroyed. This was my rock bottom, I said. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me to stop waiting for someone else to save me, stop waiting for permission to be successful, stop believing that my value was determined by whether a man wanted me. I clicked to the next slide. Me now, CEO, confident, strong. Rock bottom gave me something I never had before. Nothing left to lose. And when you have nothing left to lose, you're free to become anything you want. The standing ovation lasted 4 minutes. After the speech, a woman approached me. Early 40s, looked tired, defeated, familiar. I'm living in my car right now. 2 kids in the backseat. Ex-husband cleaned out our accounts. I saw your story online and I needed to know it was possible to come back from this. I took her hand. It's possible, I promise, but you have to believe you're worth fighting for. Do you believe that? She started crying. I don't know. Then borrow my belief until you find your own, I said. You're worth it. You deserve everything. And the people laughing at you now, they're not going to be laughing when you come back. Trust me. I gave her my card, connected her with Second Chance Marketing. 3 months later, she sent me a photo. Her and her kids in their new apartment. She'd started a catering business, already had 10 clients. The text said, they're not laughing now. No, they're not. So here's my question for you. When you're at rock bottom and everyone is laughing, do you stay down and let them be right about you? Do you accept that maybe they're correct, maybe you are a failure, maybe you deserve the humiliation? Or do you use their laughter as fuel, use their mockery as motivation, use their certainty that you'll never recover as the exact reason to prove them spectacularly wrong? Because I've learned something. The people who laugh the loudest when you fall are the same people who claim they always knew you'd make it when you rise. And the sweetest revenge isn't making them apologize. It's making them irrelevant.